Okay, here we are on slide 11. I hope that those kabuki videos were interesting and um, were able to illustrate for you what kabuki entails and looks like. Um, all right, here we are. We're at the end of the lecture. This is going to be the last slide that I talk on. Um, and we're going to talk about those puppet theaters. A few slides ago, I mentioned that as the lower classes of Japan were increasing their wealth. They were starting to develop their own art forms. One of those was kabuki, and the other one were the puppet theaters. So now we're going to chat about the puppet theaters on this slide. There had actually been a long tradition of puppet theaters in Japanese theater history, especially those performed by wandering artists who would wander the countryside um, and perform these types of shows. But puppet theater truly came into a more mainstream existence between 1596 and 1614. This is when the puppet performances began to be combined with a narration, so it became much more of a storytelling type of element. And a type this was the type of puppet theater known as bunraku, Bunraku, this kind of combination of puppets with narration. And that became really, really popular. These were actual serious plays. We think puppets and we might think like maybe sort of goofy, but these were very serious plays. They were 5-act history plays or 3-act plays on contemporary Japanese life. The puppets used in these performances underwent many changes as time went on, and they continued to kind of develop better puppet technology and better puppetry, better puppet artistry. Originally, the puppeteers used only a head, but later hands and feet were added, and by 1678, pretty complete puppet figures were in use. By 1730, they actually had developed a mechanism that allowed the dolls to move their eyes. By 1733, movable fingers were added. And by 1734, each doll was operated by 3 men who were all visible to the audience. So you had this big puppet that was operated by 3 different men, and they were visible to the audience. They were probably dressed in darker, muted colors like black, so that they wouldn't be the center of attention, and you were able to focus on the puppet. But they were visible there. In 1780, it was a form of theater that began to be overshadowed by kabuki. Kabuki became way more popular, but it still existed. And the way it worked was there was a narrator who would tell the story, and the puppet handlers did not speak. The narrator did all the expressing of the feelings of each puppet. The narrator would be the one to weep, to smile, to express fear or astonishment. And the puppet handlers, meanwhile, seem to become one with their puppets and sort of absorb themselves in the drama. They don't draw attention to themselves. They kind of like try to fade in with their puppets. So you're focusing on the actions of the puppet and the narration from the human narrator. In this week's folder, I have included 3 different sources on Julie Taymor, who is most probably famously known for directing and doing all the costume and puppet design for Broadway's The Lion King. And she's done a bunch of other really amazing stuff as well in her career. So you're going to be looking at those sources as well this week, and to see that she was actually very influenced by this type of Japanese puppetry and Japanese puppet theater known as bunraku. So check that out. On our very last slide of this lecture, which is the next slide, slide 12, I have posted a video of bunraku puppet theater, so you can get a feel again of what that looks like. There's no video of me on that slide. Just click over to it, check out that type of theater, and then you'll be done with this lecture. I hope you've enjoyed delving into Japanese theater history. And again, this week you also have the kabuki assignment to be diving into, and I hope you'll be excited about it. I think it's really exciting and creative. The the Kabuki videos on this lecture will hopefully provide you with some inspiration, but also I have posted, separate from this lecture, I have posted in the folder um, links and important information about Kabuki makeup and about the me poses. And those separate items in this week's folder should help you a lot in preparing to work on your Kabuki assignment. So have fun with that, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. And I'll see you on the discussion boards. And all right, onward, go forth. Um, Take it easy. Check out that Bunraku video on the next slide, okay, before you end the lecture. Bye-bye.